Conditions are deteriorating as the remnants of Ian take over the Triad. Check out our traffic cameras. Fortunately, not a lot of vehicles on the road right now.
A power line sparking and smoldering in Greensboro near PTI. Ian's blustery winds knocking out power. Tens of thousands in the dark in the Triad. Now to our coast, the Carolina Beach Marina underwater. This video shows the toll that Ian is taking on our coast. The water simply everywhere.
And our Skycam network shows conditions across the area, each capturing conditions as we watch and wait.
Ian made its second landfall as a Category 1 storm in South Carolina. The eye crossed Georgetown, south of Myrtle Beach, just after 2 p.m. The waves lashing, the winds gusting at 85 miles an hour. And the devastation lingers in Florida. At least 9 people are confirmed dead. Here's an aerial look along Florida's Gulf Coast. President Biden says it could take months or maybe even years to rebuild. Ian is now making its way through the Triad with gusty winds and rain. The WFMY News 2 team is on top of it all.
As you know, we are under a tropical storm warning and now states of emergency at the state, county, and city level. Tim, sounds like we've still got several hours before we're in the clear.
That's true. You know, the weather has quickly gotten stronger over the last couple of hours. I don't think it'll get much worse than it is right now, but it will stay steady like this for about 6 more hours. You got to hunker down at this point. What we're seeing with the storm, in case you missed it, no longer technically a hurricane. This is now a tropical or a post-tropical low. Basically just means it's kind of like a nor'easter combination with a tropical system. Either way, the wind and rain is moving in. We've already been seeing it, and it's all on the north side of the storm. Take a look. There's no rain on the southern edge of the system. They're already clearing out in Myrtle Beach, where boy did they get hammered earlier today. Here locally, the radar really filling in the gaps. We have some downpours, but we also have some pockets of less rainfall at the moment. This is kind of the beginning of that core of the system, though. This is where we start to see some of the heaviest rain and the highest gusts. There are also a couple of lightning strikes happening, so you may hear some thunder. This rain is really pushing in at the moment. Winds have been the highest we've seen all day. These are sustained. Sustained winds at 30 are impressive, and they've been gusting 40 to 45 right now. Raleigh is close to 50. We could see some of those close to 50 gusts later on. So far, we've had less than an inch of rain in most of the area. That's good news, but we could still pick up an additional 1 to 2 inches. We will monitor that for you. All of this is happening between now and about 1 to 2 a.m. After that, things are starting to calm down, not just with the rain, but also with the winds. We're on top of this. We're going to keep you covered, not just right now, but throughout the evening.
Tim, thanks. The storm has already caused some damage in our area. For example, a tree fell on a townhome in Greensboro.
Fire officials say it caused significant damage to the home. WFMY News 2's Grace Holland joins us live now with a closer look.
People here are really hoping that this isn't a sign of things to come around the city. We're in between rain bands right now, but we have seen rain start to pick up in the last few minutes or so. You can see this large tree that has fallen. Luckily, no one was inside the home that it fell on at the time, so no one was hurt in this. But we did speak to a neighbor who heard it fall. He thought maybe his dog fell down the stairs until he came outside and saw this.
We thought a tree out front lost a limb or something. Wasn't the case. Our neighbor from across the way came out pointing at our neighbor's house, and that's when we saw the gigantic oak tree just spilled on top of his house.
He's working to get in touch with that neighbor. He was telling me that he thinks that that person travels for work, so really hoping to give him a heads up about this so he doesn't just come home and find it here. And we also saw a Good Samaritan come by. He didn't live in this neighborhood, but he just wanted to help any way he could, so he actually cut some of the branches around the front door so that the homeowner can get back inside whenever they get here.
Love to see that. There are good people out there. Thank you to that Good Samaritan. Thousands of power outages in the Triad right now. The report started trickling in early this afternoon.
Heavy winds took down several power lines near PTI Airport, knocking out power for nearly 800 people. WFMY News 2's Kevin Kennedy met one of the people impacted.
It took a while, but Hurricane Ian has arrived in the Triad. Heavy winds and rain already causing problems. Duke Power on high alert.
Our crews are prepared and ready, staged and ready to go.
Several crews already in repair mode. A new power pole going up on Wendover. This is the old one. A car crash, the culprit. Another crash soon after. On Market Street out by the airport, more crews on the scene. A live wire dangling, a power pole burning, and a box truck disabled. The cause of all this unclear.
How low could a power line be for... There's a big question mark there.
What we do know is 700 customers lost power. Sonny Coble is one of them.
I was at actually Herbie's restaurant on Battleground when I got an alert from Duke Power that my power was out.
Duke Power telling us it could be hours till the repairs are made. Sonny content to write it out.
I guess I'll read and listen. I love music and play music. I can do that if I want to.
His keyboard requiring power, his piano out of tune, but his harmonica works just fine. This is certainly one way to pass the time. Sonny not worried about this or what's to come.
I try to use wisdom what I do, and I choose to live by faith rather than fear.
Back on the road, the rain is picking up. It will most likely be a long, wet, and busy night for power crews. Kevin Kennedy, 2 Wants to Know.
As you saw, Duke Energy linemen and women are working as fast as they can to restore power.
WFMY News 2's Amber Lake joins us live now in Greensboro with an update on their progress.
Right, guys, so even from 2 hours ago, the weather is significantly different. The rain has come down a little bit heavier, but the winds are a lot stronger. Even the gusts of winds are stronger. I have to keep a hand on my hat just to make sure it doesn't float away in these gusty winds. But here on Wendover Avenue off of Piedmont Parkway, a tree fell earlier today, causing a power outage in this area. Now, thankfully, a lot of these businesses have been restored with power over the last couple hours. But more outages are popping up throughout the evening. Duke Energy told me they're ready for whatever is thrown their way tonight. They have about 11,000 workers across the state ready for this storm. Some crews even coming into town from Vermont and Pennsylvania to assist. Duke Energy says they get the question all the time from customers who have an outage asking why their power hasn't been quickly restored. Well, there are a few factors in play.
There's a process we use to restore power, and it starts with getting our main transmission lines and substations, the big interstates of the power grid that get power to your area, back online. And then we're going to work to restore as many customers as we can.
NCDOT has also seen very little issues today, but are patrolling the area and ready to help when needed. NCDOT says it's important to stay vigilant if you have to get out in this weather.
If there are signs in the road directing you in a certain direction, or there are barricades preventing you from going further, do not drive around them. Always listen to post signs and follow the instructions listed on them.
Now, power outages remain to be a huge issue as the night progresses. So make sure right now that you have all of your phones charged and you have an emergency kit ready with some flashlights and non-perishable food in the event that you do lose power.
Amber, thank you. More than 165,000 don't have power in the Carolinas. Many of them are right here in the Triad. The most can be found in Guilford, Alamance, and Randolph counties. Guilford County just jumped up within the last few moments. Tom, how many are there now? There are now 6,800 outages, according to Duke Energy, in Guilford County. Alamance County, 7,500. Randolph County, 3,000. Let's check on the latest conditions at North on the coast. Here's a live look at North Topsail Beach. Oh, goodness gracious. It is very wet, very dreary, very cloudy. The storm surge inching closer and closer to the dunes, providing a barrier between the ocean and the homes. Now to another popular spot on our coast. Here is Southport, very quaint area. Look at those waves coming dangerously close to a truck parked in that parking lot and that building right now. Now also to South Carolina. Look at this flooding in North Myrtle Beach. A viewer sent us these photos. You can see the sea taking over the streets and starting to fill a parking garage.
So you can probably hear the wind outside right now through your windows. It's strong in the Triad, but check out this in Bald Head Island. It almost bends some of those trees right in half. It is blowing so strong out there. That high wind also creating rough waves out on Curie Beach. It is really, really picking up out on the coast. We also see Ocean Isle Beach already dealing with some storm surge flooding over out that way. Here in the Triad, Graham having lots of rain. One of our reporters posted this a little while ago. You can see it really whipping across there. And we have got heavy, heavy clouds. If you looked outside, it's pretty dark and ominous in some areas out there. So here's the big concern right now. We've been talking about power outages. Amber told you that Duke Energy is going to be there to take care of you. I want to show you, you saw them staged at Four Seasons Mall. This is down at Charlotte Motor Speedway too. There's lots of stagings just like this throughout North Carolina. So if our area happens to be worse, then they're going to move some of these crews up there. If their area is worse, they're going to move our crews down there. That is how they can help get your power back on fast in this storm.
Ben, thanks. And as we head to break, let's take one more look at conditions in our area from our Winston-Salem Skycam. That camera just jumping around with the wind and the rain that's expected to continue for hours here.
More coverage of Ian's impact on the Triad next.